You are about to enter a world of imagination. A world where battles are fought on hex maps and grids. And where even the biggest problem can be solved with a little ingenuity and a lot of luck. From power gamers to role players, all are welcome here. Hell, even 4th edition has a seat at the table. With dice in hands and a heart full of adventure, I welcome you to this Polyhedral Paradise. What is up this evening, everybody? Welcome to Polyhedral Paradise Live. Yes. Rebranded we are. But we're going to get into that. What is up? How is everybody doing on this fine Thursday evening? And if you're watching this on a replay, thank you so much. I know it is a little late. It's about 10:20 now. Life happens. Life gets in the way. But you know what? Like every expectant mother said out there, better late than never. I guess so. Tonight we're going to go over a couple different things. We're going to go over the changes to the channel, some of the things that are going on, and we're going to take a look at as you can see it right up here at the top there, Multiverse. So hot right now. Multiverse, so hot right now. That's right. Mugatu would love it. So yeah, Multiverse is all the rage, and it's even finally infected Dungeons and Dragons. That's crazy, but there's a new book coming out. Morton Canon's Monsters of the Multiverse. Now, right now it's in the set rules expansion gift set, which is coming out on the 25th, but it is going to be released on its own sometime in May. Now, we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk a little bit about a giveaway that we're going to be doing to celebrate the rebranding of the channel. So hopefully you notice the thing here. Polyhedral Paradise Live. That's right. This channel you know and love is now Polyhedral Paradise Live. So I guess now is as good a time as any to get into exactly what the changes are, how they affect stuff, and so what we're going to be doing moving forward. I guess we'll just jump right into that. Okay, so this channel here that you know and love, this channel is going to be strictly for live streams and for timely content. Let's put it that way, timely content. It's not going to, I'm not going to post any type of lore videos or anything on this channel anymore. No. As a matter of fact, I've started a new channel, which is just called Polyhedral Paradise. And that is going to be for just evergreen content. I'm going to do lore videos there. I'm going to do, that's where I'm going to go over items from past editions, characters from past editions, all the stuff that you can go back to and revisit time and time again, and you don't have to deal with live streams. So I've got pinned to the chat here is a link to my link tree where you can sign up for that. Also in the description is a link to that. Let's go take a look at that page. So just so you guys know what you're looking at. So we're gonna change the viewing screen here. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. Look, no content. That's okay. But I have 11 subscribers. Yeah. So this is gonna be the new channel for that. Eventually I'm going to have content here sooner than later. Probably soon. So this right here, Polyhedral Paradise, you can get to that again by this method right here. This is the link tree screen. At the very top, you'll find the link to the new page. Now, what we're doing to celebrate the rebranding and the sort of the separation of the channels, we're actually going to be doing a giveaway. So while you're here and you see this video and you go to that channel and you subscribe, I want you to leave a comment on this video saying subscribed, saying whatever you want, just letting me know that you subscribed to the new channel. And in 2 weeks time, I'm going to leave it up for 2 weeks. I'm going to leave it open for 2 weeks. You are going to be entered to win. Oh my God, it's keyed out. This tumbler. So this tumbler is going to be emblazoned with the Polyhedral Paradise logo, and a random person who subscribes to the new channel, the new evergreen channel, is going to win this tumbler. So that's that. So again, you can follow the link in the chat to get to the link tree here, which is right at the top. Or you can take a follow the link in the description, and there's also a link on the about page in the channel. But yeah, so that's the new fun thing that's going on. And so let's get back to the let's get back to here. How's everybody doing tonight? It's been a week, you know, Thursday. Long week so far. So we got a lot of stuff to look at in the Morton Cannon's Monsters of the Multiverse. But first, I want to show you my new haul. Got something that I got recently. So, as you all know, I'm trying to complete my Ravenloft collection. Right. So the newest thing that I purchased is this right here. Let's take a look at this. So, Ravenloft Monstrous Compendium 3: Creatures of Darkness. Now this was published in, let's see if I can find a date on it. Oh, the stickers are covering the date up. It's in the 90s, I can tell you that. Let's see. Yeah, we say 90 something. So Ravenloft Monstrous Compendium 3 covers Creatures of Darkness. It's a fairly thick book. It's 128 pages, and this type of stuff. So you can look there. There's a scarab beetle, a boneless. Let's see here. The Jolly Roger, Kizuku. Let's take a look at the Kizuku. That sounds interesting. Kizuku is an oriental creature that assumes the form of an irresistibly handsome man. Oh, he assumes my form. Oh. Talk about making assumptions. He courts beautiful women, of course. Nowadays, he courts beautiful others. They don't have to be women. Leading them to betray and murder their lovers or husbands or wives. This foul deed done, the fiend claims the woman's spirit and devours her life force, much like a divorce attorney. Kizuku looks extremely muscular and handsome. Oriental man. The hair is thick and luxurious, their demeanor noble, and their taste in clothing and personal adornment is impeccable. You would find Kizuku on the Queer Eye for the Straight Guys show if he were not already confined to Ravenloft. They always seem rich, confident, and trustworthy, just like a Uncle Bad Touch. Most Kizuku prefer to disguise themselves as wizards or priests. Uncle Bad Touch. The only clue that might give away their identity of the Kizuku is a small, inky black mole shaped like a crescent moon that is always located somewhere visibly on his body, usually on face and hands. When a Kizuku consumes a woman's essence, or a man's, he gains the ability to speak any languages he or she knew. Because of this, most of these creatures have a plethora of tongues at their disposal. So that is just a peek at the Kizuku right here. So those are the type of creatures that you're going to find in the Monstrous Compendium, Volume 3 in Ravenloft. And man, there is a breadth of information that I can pull from that, and I definitely intend on digging on that and doing some deep dives on the creatures in that book. That's the type of content that I'll be posting on the other channel. Now, once again, that other channel, I'm gonna go back to that for people just joining us. That other channel is this one, the new Polyhedra Paradise channel, sitting at 11 subscribers. And once again, channel giveaway. We already talked about that. So I guess let's get to the topic at hand. The Monsters of the Multiverse book. All right, so let's get back. So I'm gonna bring the music down for a second. I know we just started the Misfits song. I know, and I so do love this song, but we're gonna pause it for a second here. So I gotta play something for you guys. A while back I did a video, a secret book announced, a D&D video. So in this video, I postulated what one of the next books coming up was going to be. And it turns out your boy's a prophet. So we're gonna take a look at what I said. Oh, there we go. So this is the video here. If you haven't seen this video, it's a little dated. I know it's a little dated, but the ending of it was really fun to shoot. But here we're talking about they had just announced a secret book that was coming up, and it was sort of like, you know, just pitching some ideas of what it might be, what it might not be. I'm gonna put my headphones back on so I can hear this. And the video is sitting at 73 views. But anyway, so at this point, I started getting into it, like some of the crazier theories of what it might be. And it turns out I'm a prophet. So let's take a look at this video here and pick it up from this point. A wild whistle wetted by witchlight and have the plane expanded upon later on in the last book of the year. We can see exactly how the Shadowfell works and how Ravenloft fits into it. We may even get some sort of explanation of why anybody should or would want Magic the Gathering worlds in D&D. Nah. And if it's not a planar manual, no, maybe a multiverse book. Oh! It's all the rage this year, obviously. Maybe we'll get our geeky minds blown when we find out that Groot is really a treant and Loth is ultimately responsible for Spider-Man and Venom, and maybe even a little Carnage. Okay, I went off the rails a little bit quicker than one of my... All right, so yeah, hyperbole aside, you can see I called it a multiverse book. A multiverse book, that's right. Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse. So what is it exactly? Do you hear Monsters of the Multiverse and you ask yourself, what exactly is that? So Monsters of the Multiverse is actually right now included in, like I said before, the 3-book set. Let me just pull it up here. Where'd it go? Here we go. I'm going to pull that up. There we go. So there's a rules expansion gift set coming out, which combines 3 of the books that have already been released. Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and then it takes Volo's Guide to Monsters and the other, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, combines those, reworks a bunch of things, and releases them in one book called Monsters of the Multiverse. So that expansion set is coming out on the 25th, which is right around the corner. That's $169.95. The release date is January 25th. So you can see it comes with a new DM screen, and then there's the 3 books right there. But they're holding off Monsters of the Multiverse for a single release till much later. Now, what I really like about this, if I didn't already have these books, I would get this just for the alt cover, the white alt cover. And it's like the white alt cover is like extremely reminiscent of the original white D&D books. And I think that's what they're going for. Let me see if I can find a picture of the original D&D white box. Here we go. I'm sorry. I didn't have it pulled up. So it's kind of like it kind of mimics it a little bit. Bring that up here. Bring it up. So, nope. I don't want your cookies. Nope. Wrong page. But anyway, I think you guys saw it on the page we were looking at. You know, the original white boxes. You can look at all these examples here, where you know you've got the contrast between the black writing and coloration and the red letters and stuff, and you've got that stark contrast between white and white. Yeah. Oh, that's my Twitter account. That's my fault. Let's see. Let me get back to the rules expansion. There we go. Yeah. So it's reminiscent of the original D&D books. I think it's really interesting. I would definitely buy this if I didn't already own all those books. But the book I'm really interested in, and then what we're going to talk about today, is the Monsters of the Multiverse book. So let's dig in directly into that. Morton Caden presents Monsters of the Multiverse, a bestiary of wondrous friends and foes for the world's greatest role-playing game. Sparkling with the musings of the wizard Morton Caden, his tome features a host of creatures for use in Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game. Hailing from every corner of the multiverse, these creatures represent some of the most benevolent and malevolent forces the D&D heroes might face. The book also gathers together fantastical peoples from many different worlds. Each of these peoples represents a race option when you create your D&D character, expanding on the choices in the player's handbook. Compiling and updating monsters that originally appeared in Volo's Guide to Monsters and Morton Caden's Tome of Foes, this book presents friends and foes for any D&D campaign. Many of them accompanied by the comments of Morton Caden. The wizards have faced many of these monsters and peoples on numerous wondrous adventures. Now it is time for you to venture forth and face these creatures yourself, including over 250 monsters, updates to the monsters, including making spellcasters easier for dungeon masters to run. We are going to come back to the stat block differences in a few minutes because I find them intriguing. So, giving many monsters more damage and resilience and improving the organization of the stat blocks themselves. Here's the interesting thing. It includes over 30 playable races, brings all the game's setting agnostic races into one book, complementing the races in the player's handbook. And Multiverse of Lore includes update to Monsters lore that refocuses the stories on the D&D multiverse rather than any particular world. Now, let me touch on that real quick. So, what they did here is what they're slowly doing. 5th edition was so heavily tied to the Forgotten Realms. So heavily tied to the Forgotten Realms that what they're doing with these books is that they're pulling back so you can get a bigger picture. Where, like, you know, orcs from the Forgotten Realms are not necessarily the same thing as orcs from Mystara or orcs from whatever. So what they're doing is they're giving you the information in a more general sense so that it's not tied to any one specific lore of creation. It's not tied to one specific, you know, the piece of framework that you can take these monsters and then they're pulling back and like you can use them anywhere in any type of way. So they're uncoupling creatures from settings. Now, there's nothing saying that you have to change how these creatures work within your setting, but they're giving you a broader view. I think it's pretty cool. And they're doing the same thing with the races too, because now 30 playable races, that's a pretty decent amount of races. This is basically going to act as a player's handbook 2.5 as far as character creation goes. And they're uncoupling some of the weight from the characters and the character creation and freeing it up, you know, to give you a whole big old sandbox. So they've changed a lot of stuff as far as let's see, they've changed a lot of stuff where it comes to the individual races, and I have it pulled up. I'd like to go through it. It's an awful lot of stuff, but they've made a bunch of different changes. So I'm gonna let's first of all let's take a look at the races that are going to be available in this book. So go here. Up here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. If not, you can just listen as I go through it. These are the races that are added to the book. Aarakocra, Aasimar, Bugbear, Centaur, Changeling, Deep Gnome, Dwergar, Eladrin, Fairy, Furbolg, Ganassi, Earth, Air, Fire, and Water, Githyanki, Githzerai, which is basically the good version of Githyanki, Goblin, Goliath, Harangon, Hobgoblin, Kenku, Lizardfolk, Minotaur, Orc, Satyr, Sea Elf, Shatterkai, Shifter, Tabaxi, Tortle, Triton, and Yanti. A lot of these are repeats. We've seen them before. Some of them are new that we just got in Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Harangon, that's pretty new. And some of these are from the Minotaur, the Satyr. I believe they're from that we got here? The Greek theme one that I really don't care about, Theros. Yeah, so there's been a lot of changes to a lot of the races. They've been updated. So we're just gonna run through and take a look at some of them. The Aarakocra, the walking speed is increased to. Hold on 1 second here. The Aarakocra's walking speed has been increased to 30 feet from where it was before. The flight now functions like a fairy flight feature, meaning your flying speed is 30 feet instead of 50 feet. But it can be increased via increasing your walking speed. Your damage, your talons now, the damage has been increased to 1d6 plus your strength. So they actually have a pretty good unarmed strike. There's something new called Wind Caller, which you gain a new trait that allows you to cast Gust of Wind. Once you reach 3rd level, it functions similarly to other innate spellcasting traits. I don't know exactly what that does. I don't have a breakdown for it. And I don't know if that's me being unprepared or if it's not out there. But, you know, that's my fault. So those are the changes to Aarakocra. I personally don't like playing with flying characters. Unless it's a very specific name. But I understand the move to the game is, you know, having that broad palette of different type of character classes to work with. And I'm cool with it. I just, you know, yeah. But anyway, Aasimar. Love Aasimars. Okay, so Aasimar no longer has sub-races, which is interesting. This Aasimars can now be medium or small. With the healing hands, the hit points regenerated from this trait has been changed from the level, from your level to a number of D4 equal to your PB. I'm not sure what PB is. Shit. Player, I don't know. I'm not sure what PB is. Celestial Revelation. This is kind of new. Instead of a subrace choice, the different transformations have now been combined into a single trait. Now when you reach 3rd level, you choose which transformation you have. The transformations can now be entered as a bonus action. I guess that's like the wings or the bone wings. So I guess that means the dark Aasimar is gone. So Necrotic Shroud no longer affects your allies. The extra necrotic damage is now equal to your PB. Got it. Hold on a second. Let me see what PB is. I feel like I should know that. Yeah. Neat. Somebody in chat help me out. PB. I feel like you should know it. The bad thing is like, as soon as I end the stream, I'm gonna know what PB stands for. How embarrassing. All right. So let's see. Radiant consumption. Both sources of radiant damage are now equal to your PB, and the feature no longer hurts yourself. Okay. Radiant Soul. The gain flying speed is now equal to your walking speed. The extra radiant damage is now equal to your PB. That's coming up a lot. I really should know what that PB is. Anyway, let's move on and forget that the Aasimars ever happened. Bugbears. Creature type, now you're considered a goblinoid, and any prerequisites or effect that requires you to be a goblinoid. Now this is new. You gain Fey ancestry because they changed the way goblins are. They actually made them Fey. So they went from having like they've gone deeper in goblinoid lore, and they actually stem from Fey creatures, which is interesting. So on top of stealth proficiency, you can now move through and stop in a space large enough to fit a small creature without squeezing, and that's called sneaky. Bugbear now has surprise attack. The trait's been reworked a little bit. You now deal 2d6 extra damage whenever you attack a creature who is not taking their first turn in combat. Okay, so that's interesting. So those are all the changes to Bugbear. So the Centaur, that's short. The hooves damage has increased to 1d6 plus strength, And Survivor has been renamed to Natural Affinity. Changeling can now be medium or small. They're now Fey instead of humanoid, which makes sense because, you know, they're definitely not strictly humanoids. Let's see. Changeling instincts. Their performance has been added as an option. Shape changer. As mentioned, you can now change your size between medium and small when changing shape. Your clothing and equipment still do not change with you. So that's interesting. You could shrink down to a small creature instead of a medium creature. Yeah. But your clothing and equipment don't change with you. So you could just be like one of those little kids like, hey, look at my clothes don't fit. My clothes don't fit anymore. So let's see. Deep Gnome. The creature type for the Deep Gnome clarifies you're now considered a gnome for any prerequisite that requires you to be a gnome. I mean, were they not gnomes before? That's weird. So they get a little bit more of a faster speed. It's now been increased to 30 feet. Gift of the Snivneblin. I love the Snivneblin. This is new. You gain an innate spellcasting trait. Sort of a mix of the Snivneblin magic feat and Dwergar magic. Starting at 3rd level, you can cast Disguise Self once per long rest. Then starting at 5th level, you can cast Non-Detection. It functions similarly to other innate spellcasting traits. Gnome Cunning has been renamed to Gnomish Magic Resistance. Only grants advantage on saving throws against spells. Stone Camouflage has been reworked to Snivneblin Camouflage. Instead of having advantage when hiding in a rocky area, you give yourself advantage on a stealth check. Okay, Dwergar, one of the other underground guys. So you're considered a dwarf now for any prerequisites that requires you to be a dwarf. Your speed is increased to 30 feet, no longer 25. You no longer have sunlight sensitivity and dwarven combat training, tool proficiency, or stone cunning. Huh. So they took away the dwarven tool proficiency. Interesting. You can now cast spells while in sunlight, and Enlarge Reduce can now be used to reduce. Receive the innate spellcasting updates mentioned above. So, they're like, I don't know. I kind of like the sunlight sensitivity when it comes to Dwergar, because seen as what they are and whatnot. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I should have shut that off. Let me turn my phone off. Sorry. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing they got rid of that. I don't like seeing them strip things away that are like hindrances and stuff like that, because I think that hindrances go a long way to making characters and classes and races interesting. If you start stripping them away, then everything just becomes like just window dressing. Okay. So Dwergar Resistance has been split into 2 different traits: Dwarven Resistance and Psionic Fortitude. Oh, psionics. Dwarven Resistance now specifies that it gives advantage on avoiding or ending the poison condition. And Psionic Fortitude grants advantage against the charmed and stunned conditions instead of those charmed and paralyzed conditions. So they took Dwarven Resistance and really split it up. Okay. So Eladrin. So they consider you an elf, basically. And trance has been changed. Receive the changes mentioned. Additionally, Eladrin's version specifies that you can change your season at the end of a long rest. Phase step, you can now be used PB times per long rest. The fire damage dealt by the summer effect is now equal to your PB. Also, you can now choose your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma for the saving throw of your effects. I am not familiar with Eladrin off the top of my head. Let's take a look. Ladrin TD. Term Ladrin refers to family of Fae races, specific races or sub-races in a larger family. Nope, not exactly what I was looking for. You know what? I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for it because I don't want to get lost in the woods here. No change to the fairy. Furblog magic has been changed. You receive the innate spellcasting updates mentioned above. Also, you get the use of Disguise Self, which this is a change. It actually allows you to appear 3 feet shorter or taller, which is unusual for Disguise Self. Usually, you don't see that height variance. Hidden Step is changed how many times you can use it. Speech of the Beast and Leaf specifies you can communicate with beasts, plants, and vegetation. I would like to talk to my head of broccoli, please. Ganassi has been changed. You can now be medium or small. Your speed has increased. You've gained dark vision out to 60 feet, gain resistance to lightning damage, and mingle with the wind. You do not immediately have the ability to cast Levitate. The feature now lets you cast Shock and Grasp. Once you reach 3rd level, you can cast Featherfall once per long rest. And at 5th, you can cast Levitate. The trait received the innate spellcasting updates mentioned above. Constitution is no longer used. Earth Ganassi, you got some of the tame changes. You can now be medium or small. Dark vision after 60 feet. Earth Walk has been changed a little bit. You now ignore difficult terrain when you're using your walking speed on the ground or floor. You can merge with stone that's been changed to mingle with stone. You do not gain the ability to pass without trace until 5th level. You also learn the Blade Ward cantrip, and you can cast it as a bonus action. The trait received the innate spellcasting updates mentioned above. So, yeah, spellcasting has been changed sort of across the board. Fire Ganassi, you can now see in shades of gray instead of red, medium or small. You now class Flame Blade once you reach 5th level. The trait received, obviously, the spellcasting changes that we've been seeing. So, excuse me 1 second. Okay. Water Ganassi, medium or small. Swimming speed is now equal to your walking speed. Dark vision out to 60 feet. Shape Water has been replaced with Acid Splash. Let's see. You can now cast Water Walk once you reach 5th level. So those are some changes with the Water Ganassi. I'll have to look at. It's crazy. You get Acid Splash as a Water Ganassi. Githyanki. You no longer have Descendant Mastery or Martial Prodigy under the traits. There's a new thing called Astro Knowledge. When you finish a long rest, you can gain 2 proficiencies that you do not have. 1 skill proficiency and 1 weapon. These proficiencies last until you take a long rest. So, wow. So, you can literally, like, wake up and cherry pick 2 proficiencies you didn't have before. Like, you know, if you think, oh, what's going to be useful today? And then, yeah, you can flip those around. That's actually pretty cool. So, Githyanki Psionics, you receive the innate spellcasting. Yeah. You now have resistance to psychic damage as a Githyanki. Githzerai. You now also have resistance to psychic damage. Not too much of a chain there. So, goblin creatures clarifies you consider goblinoid. I don't know why that would be a change. But now you have gained Fey ancestry because they've made goblins Fey now. Let's see. Fury of the Small can now be used. Extra damage is now equal to your PB. Man, I wish I knew what PB meant. I'm going to kick myself in the butt when I figure it out. Actually, there we go. Alright, let's kick it up a notch here. So, no changes to the Harangon. Goliath has a natural athlete and powerful build. They've been combined into a trait called Little Giant. So, I'm kind of curious to see exactly what that trait is. Stone Endurance. Got that, like, Harangon. Hobgoblin is almost identical to the Faithfolk Unearthed Arcana version. Clarifies you're considered a goblinoid. You gain fair ancestry. They no longer have martial training. You can now use the help action as a bonus action. Starting at 3rd level, you gain one of the following benefits when you use help this way. First one is hospitality. You and the target of your help gain a temporary hit point equal to 1d6 proficiency bonus. Oh my god, why did I not realize it was proficiency bonus? Oh, it feels so ridiculous. PB's proficiency bonus. It's the music. It's helping me out here. Oh my god, PB proficiency bonus, of course. Okay, passage. You and the target of your help each get plus 10 walking speed until the end of your next turn. Spite. I was like some people I know. Until the start of your next turn, the first time the target of your help hits a creature with an attack, that creature has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes within a minute. Wow, hobgoblins are useful. Saving face. Renamed, reflavored to be Fortune of the Many. The maximum bonus you can gain now is 3. The trait can now be used, proficiency bonus, times per long rest. What? Kenku no longer has limited speech? They can now be medium or small. Expert. Wow. I really got to look into that, because the whole thing with Kenko is they mimic speech patterns without actually being able to speak. So it was like part of the challenge of playing a Kenko was figuring out how to. Hey girl, hey Laura, good to see you. Part of the fun thing about playing a Kenko is trying to figure out how to communicate without actually using words, and like. If now they can just speak, it makes them no different than just like Aarakocra, I guess, bird creature. But they can be medium or small now. Expert forgery has been renamed to expert duplication. You now have advantage on making an exact duplicate of writing or craft work made by yourself or someone else instead of just someone else. So you can duplicate your own work as well as you can duplicate somebody else's work. It no longer states that you can make forgeries, just exact duplicates. Okay, so you're like a walking printing press, basically, as a Kenku. I would like a job in a printing press shop, and now you can ask for it because apparently you can speak now. Insight checks on your imitations are now against a DC 8 plus proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier instead of a contested deception check. So you still have to imitate sound, but you don't have limited speech. Really gonna have to dig into some of this stuff when the book actually comes out, because some of the stuff is not making a whole lot of sense. So, okay, Kobold. Let's see how far, man. Woo, we're only half through. Have to kick it up a notch. All right, Kobold. Almost identical to the Draconic Options UA, no longer has sunlight sensitivity or pack tactics. Oh wow, Kobolds don't have pack tactics anymore? That was a big draw for them. Grovel, Cower, and Big has been reworked in Draconic Cry. The trait can now be used as a bonus action. Proficiency bonus times per long rest instead of an action once after a short rest. It now affects enemies that can hear you within 10 feet instead of those that can see you, since you let out a cry instead of cowering. Also, the advantage on attack rolls against them is now granted to you as well. Something new called Kobold Legacy. When you choose this race, you gain one of the following options. you gain proficiency in the following area: Arcana, Investigation, Medicine, Sleight of Hand, or Survival. Because of Defiance, you have advantage on saving throws against a frightened condition. Man, they're bulking up the Kobold. Like, you now have an advantage against saving throws in a frightened condition. Usually, I always picture Kobolds like cowering away, but I changed them. Draconic Sorcery. You can learn one cantrip from the Sorcerer's spell list. You can choose Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma as your spellcasting ability for it. Man, I never thought Kobolds would lean on Intelligence, or Wisdom, or Charisma for that matter. All right, Lizard Folk. They no longer has Cunning Artisan. Swimming speed is now equal to their walking speed. Bite now deals slashing damage instead of just piercing. Hunter's Lure has been reworked to Nature's Intuition, which is shared by the turtle. You now gain 2 of the following skill proficiencies: Animal Handling, Nature, Medicine, Perception, Stealth, or Survival. Hungry Jaws can now be used. Your proficiency bonus times per long rest. Temporary hit points gained is now equal to proficiency bonus instead of your con mod. Okay. Alright, Minotaur. No longer have imposing presence, but now they have Labyrinthine Recall. You always know which way is north. You have advantage on survival checks when navigating or tracking. God, that's so useless. You always know which way is north. Okay. Orc. They no longer have Primal Intuition. Aggressive has been reworked to Adrenaline Rush, reworked. Now let's use dash action, proficiency bonus times per long rest. When you use dash action, you gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Relentless. You have a Relentless Endurance. You have gained the Relentless Endurance trait shared by the half-orc. Okay. All right, Satyr. The ram damage has been increased to 1d6 plus strength. Magic resistance now only grants you advantage on saving throws against spells. Instead of like other magical means. Okay. Sea Elf. You basically considered an elf by means of prerequisites. Fey Ancestry receives changes we talked about for Fey Ancestry. Trance receives the other changes. You no longer have Sea Elf training or extra language. Swimming speed from Children of the Sea has been moved to speed section. Your swimming speed is now equal to your walking speed. So leveling that out. Child of the Sea now grants you resistance to cold damage. Friend of the Sea now gives you the ability to communicate with beasts, the creature type. The trait also clarifies that although swimming beasts can understand your words, you cannot innately understand them in return. So it's a one-way communication. Basically, you can be like, hey, go fetch me some fish. And he could be like, screw you, I ain't getting you nothing. And you'll be like, yeah, he's totally going to do it. You won't know. Meanwhile, he's like, that's my dolphin. Dolphin ain't fetching you a fish. Alright, it's just the Shadar-kai. Basically, it says Shadar-kai says you're an elf, which I always thought anyway. So the only other difference is you can now, Blessing of the Raven Queen can now be used. Your proficiency bonus times per long rest. Wow. So if your proficiency bonus is like 5, you can use Blessing of the Raven Queen 5 times in an 8-hour period. They're I have to go back and think about some of this stuff. Really? Okay. Shifter. No longer has sub-races, but they have bestial instincts. You now gain 1 skill proficiency in your choice of athletics, acrobatics, intimidation, and survival. These skills were granted by the original sub-races. Shifting can now be used. Proficiency bonus times per long rest. When you choose this race, select one of 4 benefits from your transformation. The 10 hit points gained when you're transforming is now equal to 2 times your proficiency bonus instead of your level plus con mod. You can now attack with your fangs using the same bonus action to shift. I must be missing something here. I don't remember a shifter. And here I go on another search again. So I'm gonna look. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's just my Twitter. All right, shifter 5e. Shifter 5e. I assume it's like a lengthocopy. Okay, so it says here, shifters are sometimes called the were-touched, as many believe they are descendants of humans and lengthocopes. The humanoids with a bestial aspect, while they cannot fully shape change, they can temporarily enhance their animalistic features, a state they call shifting. Whatever their origins, shifters have evolved into a unique race. A shifter walks on the knife's edge between the wilds and the world around them. Do they embrace their primal instincts or the path of civilization? So, okay. Are these legit? Like, I've never seen anything with a shifter in it. Like, let me know in chat if, like, you know the origin of shifters, because it seems like a halfway between a lengthocopy and a full-on beast man. I just No, Tabaxi. Moving on. Tabaxi can now be medium or small. Climbing speed is now equal to your walking speed, and claws strength are now 1d6 plus your strength bonus. So they're like across the board. It sounds like anything unarmed the damage has been increased, which I'm okay with. I always thought it was a little low, so it has not hurt my feelings to see them increased. The turtle can now be medium or small. Same thing. Damage increased to 1d6 plus strength bonus. Survival instinct has been replaced with nature's intuition, which is shared with the lizard folk. You gain one of the following proficiencies: animal handling, nature medicine, perception, stealth, or survival. The only difference between the lizard folk and the turtle is turtle gets 2, lizard folk gets 1. Because everybody knows turtles are better than lizards. Triton. God, I want to say I don't care. Anyway, walking speed is equal to swimming speed. Water wall has been replaced with water walk. They receive the innate spellcasting updates mentioned above. Obviously, it now specifies you can communicate with beasts, elementals, or monstrosities that have a swimming speed. So, Yanti, pureblood, has been removed from the name. Good, I never understood that, because the Yanti pureblood looks pretty much like a human, but the other Yanti look like snake people. But if it's pureblood, you would assume that they would look more like the Yanti creature and not like a person. So I never understood why they had pureblood in their name at all. So, but they can be medium or small. I never realized Yanti couldn't be small before. Like, you couldn't have a mini Yanti. I guess not. But now you can. So poison immunity has been downgraded to poison resistance. You now have resistance to poison damage and advantage on avoiding or entering the poison condition. Yes! Thank goodness. Immunity to poison from the Yanti was such a thorn in my side as a DM. Man, one of my players, not my players, I don't possess him, but one of the people I played with, I don't know if he wants his name mentioned, but he plays a Yanti pureblood, and man, the stuff he's gotten up to while taking advantage of that poison immunity has been crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yanti being like completely immune to poison is like so OP. But now, rules is written, it's been downgraded to poison resistance, so that's good. Magic resistance, the trait now only grants advantage on saving throws against spells. Innate spellcasting has been renamed to serpentine spellcasting. You receive the innate spellcasting updates mentioned above, with the exception that you cannot cast animal friendship from using this trait, from using spell slots. So, a little long-winded. My mouth is a little dry, but that's just running. We just ran there through the changes to the 33 different character races in Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse. So, We talked before that they, I'm going to close that out, that they changed the stat blocks, the way the stat blocks work. Once again, hey, Callista, good to see you, hon. Good to see you this evening. I know it's late, but it's better late than never. For me, I mean. So, we're talking a little bit of how they changed the stat blocks, and they shift some things around. So I pulled up an example, which is the War Priest. So they've made things a lot easier for DMs to engage in combat. Like before, they gave you they treated it like as a DM, you were another player at the table, and they gave you a complete spell list, and they expected you to be able to run bad guys as players would run PCs, and that's fine. But for a lot of newer DMs or players who haven't been playing that long, or even DMs who got overwhelmed, trying to do that was pretty difficult. And we were finding that DMs were not getting the most out of their enemies, most out of their big bad evil guys. What's up, Mr. Jackson? So what they did was they've taken a lot of the spell casting and reduced it down to actions and per day and stuff, rather than having to go through and pick through the spell list and micromanage your big bad evil guys. They've taken it and given them some of their biggest weapons and turned them into individual actions, instead of people missing the basically the big forces that they could be. So we're gonna take a look at two different stat blocks here. Hold on. So we've got the original War Priest from Volo's Guide to Monsters versus the War Priest from Warden Cannon's Monsters of the Multiverse. So obviously, let's see, medium humanoid, any race, medium humanoid cleric, any alignment. Yep. So the armor class stays the same, so does the hit points, so does the speed. Stats stay basically the same. Here they give you his proficiency bonus. In the new stat block, that's a +4. Everything stays the same over here. Challenge level, it doesn't change really until we get down below here to the actions line. So before, it says spell casting. The priest is a 9th level spellcaster. Spellcasting ability is Wisdom. Spell save DC 15 +7 to hit with spell attacks. And then it gives you the following spells that the cleric has prepared. This is the way it used to do it. Light mending. I'm not going to read through all of them, but it gives you the cantrips 1st, 2nd level, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then actions, it tells you the priest makes 2 melee attacks, one with his maul, and then you can use your maul twice. And then you got your reactions, which is guided strike, recharges after a long or short rest. The priest grants a +10 bonus to an attack roll made by itself or another creature within 30 feet of it. The priest can make this choice after roll is made before he hits or misses. So that's the way the old stat block worked. So here's the new. The priest has multi-attack. The War Priest makes 2 maul attacks, and it uses Holy Fire. So you've got your maul attacks, those are 2 attacks. And then Holy Fire, the War Priest targets one of its creatures it can see within 60 feet. The target must make a DC 15 Wisdom save. For those who don't know, DC is a difficulty check. It means that the person rolling against it has to beat that number in order to negate the effects of whatever they're casting. Now the negating effects can either be halved or completely negated depending on the situation. So on a failed save, the target takes 12 or 2d8 plus 3 radiant damage and is blinded until the start of the War Priest's next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage but isn't blinded. Now, you come down here to spellcasting. The War Priest can take one of the following spells using Wisdom as a spell casting ability, DC save 15. At will. Light. At will means they can do it whenever. It doesn't matter how many slots they have, doesn't matter how many times a day, it is at will. That's light, spare the dying, thaumaturgy. Now, the following they can do 1 per day each: banishment, command, dispel magic, flame strike, guardian of faith, hold person, lesser reservation. Reservation? Yeah, lesser reservation. I don't want that restaurant. Give me a smaller restaurant. Lesser restoration and revivify. So already you can see here where they've taken and really narrowed down, really funneled into what the war priest can do. Where before they were just like, here's this a bunch of spells, and he's prepared these spells, and you make it work however you want. And people going into combat really wouldn't have all that stuff prepared. But here you can see how it's easier. Okay, I get 2 attacks with my maul, and I can use holy fire. Then from that, at will, I can use these things, and 1 per day I can use these other spells. It really simplifies the character, where you don't have to make it's. I don't want to say you don't have to make hard decisions, but it is easier to pluck and play. So I pluck this character out. It's easy for me to work with him. Great Council, yo, what's up, Lunga? What's good? Good to see you here, buddy. We're just talking about the differences in the stat blocks between Volos and the new Monsters of Multiverse book. So it's going to be a lot easier for DMs without a lot of experience and without a lot of prep time to just pluck these characters out and play them at the table. And finally, they're going to sorry. Some of these creatures are finally going to live up to their challenge rating, because even if a character has a high CR, if the person playing it really isn't familiar with how to manage spell slots, you can really run into a buzzsaw when it comes to players who do know how to manage it. Because I know for me, like when I'm playing the game, combat, yeah, okay, combat's fine, but I don't spend all my time worrying about combat and prepping for combat and preparing spell slots and like thinking when I get into combat, how do I want to use this creature? So the new way that the spell blocks is sorry, the new way that the character stat blocks are set up, it's going to be so much more efficient for people who are not as used to or who don't have the time to maximize the output of a character. So I really like what they've done. Now there's going to be I'm sorry, before I wish I had a cough button. Nobody has a cough button on a keyboard. Speaking of restaurants, BurgerFi. I don't think I was speaking of restaurants, but BurgerFi does suck. I will say this: we had our worst burger experience today at a place called BurgerFi. Oh my god, horrible! I had a burger. It was supposed to be Wagyu, and I know we're off topic here. It was supposed to be Wagyu and brisket burger, I think, and it tasted like Walmart meat. But anyway, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. But anyway, I know I'm off topic here. So those are. Let me get back here. Yeah, so that's just the War Priest. That's just one example of how they're changing up the stat blocks, and they're going to do that for all the creatures. Now, obviously, as a DM, you're more than welcome to run it the traditional way. You're more than welcome to completely fill out the character with the standard amount of spell slots and run it that way if you want. But I tell you, like I love the new way that they're doing that, and I'm interested. They gave a couple other examples, but I was going to pull it up, but you really can't read what it says too well, so I don't want to pull it up and then not be able to see it. But yeah, so this book, the Monsters of the Multiverse book, I'm going to pick it up on its own. I'm not going to pick it up as part of the rules expansion gift set, because I already own a lot of that stuff. So a lot of these changes that we're going to see here with the stat blocks, we're going to see in 5.5. That's some of the stuff that they're going to be changing. It's the biggest thing. So I'm kind of curious to see what else are changing. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you like the new stat blocks, or if you prefer to have your characters and your bad guys like full bore, where it's like you have to dig into the weeds to get the most out of these creatures, or do you want the DM friendly version? Are you okay with that? Because I personally like the DM friendly version. So guys, we've been going for a little over an hour now, and we're running up on 11:19. I just want to remind everybody, let's just go back to take a look here. Let's see. Again, up at the top of the chat is the link for the new channel for the evergreen content. I'm gonna just spill a little bit of stuff on the computer desk here. Up at the top of the channel is the link for the link tree for the evergreen content. Let me show you what the link tree looks like. Let's see. There we go. So right here you can see the link tree. At the top is the link for the new channel, Polyhedra Paradise, which is going to be handling all of the evergreen content. The new videos are going to be a lore and all the stuff that's not topical, and you can go back and watch anytime. And if you subscribe to that channel and then you leave a comment on this video saying subscribed, we're going to leave it open for the next 2 weeks. You will be entered into winning this travel mug. Party fail. I mean, it's just water. It's not that big of a deal. I feel like one of the kids. I can't get mad at them for spilling stuff when I do the same thing. But you're gonna have a chance to win this this travel tumbler right here, which is keyed out a little bit, which is crazy. But we're gonna put the Polyhedra Paradise logo on this, and in 2 weeks we're gonna draw a winner. So please, I encourage everybody to head over to that channel, which is just Polyhedra Paradise. Link in the description. You can get there through the link tree. And let's see. Calissa says, I don't know very much about this, but based on your explanation, I would say the DM version. Yeah, most definitely, I would too. So yeah, anyway. Go subscribe to the new channel. Keep an eye out for content on there. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to get out of here to clean up the water on the desk. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. Noah, Callista, Laura, good to see you. Lunga, always, everybody, thanks so much for spending some time with me. I'll catch you guys next week sometime. Look for stuff on the other channel. And remember, in the game of life, me always roll with advantage. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good evening. Bye, Noah. Bye, guys.